are doing our first tag together. It is, what is it called?
The makeup book. The book makeup tag.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And we, disclaimer, are not professional makeup artists at all. And we may look a little scary right now. It's because we have no makeup on our faces.
This is our monstrous lizard person.
We're lizard people right now. But so we're gonna go through questions, and as we do our makeup, we have to compare it to a book. This will be very fun and very interesting, so bear with us. Let's get on with the video. The first question is foundation. Pick your favorite book that is the first book in a series. So I don't normally use foundation. I guess like when I really want to go all out, I will go buy some. But usually on a day-to-day basis, I use like this Tarte Amazonian Clay BB moisturizer.
Sponsored. Just kidding. It's not sponsored.
Sponsored. Ad. Hashtag ad.
The first book that I picked, and we have the books too, I have to try not to get makeup on them. I picked Crank. So this is your favorite book that's the first in a series. I picked Crank because at the time that I read it, I think it was in middle school, it was unlike any book I had read before. I hadn't read that many books that were realistic fiction, but just really, really, really sad. And I also had not read any books from this kind of perspective before. If you've never read Crank, it's from the perspective of a girl who becomes a drug addict. And that was a first for me. And the book is very sad. Because all these things happen to her. She has just so many awful experiences, and it gives you her whole journey throughout drugs throughout the series, and eventually moves on to her children and how her being a drug addict and choosing drugs affects them long term. It was just unlike any book I'd ever read at the time that I read it. It was very shocking to me. Of course, now I've read lots of sad books. But it's just so real. It feels so real. The other reason I picked Crank was because the style of writing. It's not like when you read a normal book how there's a full page of words. Sometimes the words make certain shapes, like a flower. Sometimes some pages only have a few words. Sometimes it has a lot. So that was the first time I'd read a book like that. So that's another reason I picked it, because it just sticks out. I think Identical is probably my favorite book by her.
Mine too.
It's so good.
So good. I tell everyone, if you liked Ellen Hopkins, you need to make sure you read Identical because it's the best. And the plot twist.
Yeah, good plot twist.
That's the ridiculous.
Like Gone Girl level.
So the book that I chose for this is Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler. So Kissed by an Angel, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I saw it one day with my father. We were walking in from I was like, oh, that looks really cool. My dad's like, we should buy 2 copies and read together. My dad's like that. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to read and have a book club. He never finishes it. I finished it. I'm like, oh, what the whole series? Kissed by an Angel is about this girl. Her boyfriend Tristan, I think his name is Tristan, dies in a mysterious accident, and it's like heartbreaking for her, and he becomes her guardian angel, and they find out that, oh my gosh, he wasn't supposed to die, she was. It is so freaking good. It's one of my favorite books. This is a really thick book because it's got like 3 books in one, but yeah, Kissed by an Angel is the first one.
Next question is eyeshadow. Pick a book that has your favorite colors on the cover. Yeah, okay. So for a book with my favorite colors on it, I picked Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter is one of my all-time favorite book series, but I specifically picked the Order of the Phoenix, not because it's my favorite book series, but because of all the blues on the front.
Favorite color is blue, obviously.
Yeah.
So that matches.
My favorite color is blue. This just has so many pretty shades. It doesn't really come across in the camera, but it's got a metallic blue for where it says Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, and all just in different shades of blue, like a very dark midnight blue. There's really pastel ones on here. Some of them are like, it looks white, but if you look at it, it's just a very, very, very light blue, and that's my favorite color, so that's why I picked it.
So I've got 2 favorite colors, which is green and purple, but purple is like my main favorite color, and because I just couldn't find one with both on the cover, I just chose The Book of Tomorrow by Cecilia Ahern. The Book of Tomorrow is about this girl who finds a big diary. She goes to her grandmother's to stay for the summer, and she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be bored as fuck. And so she finds a huge diary, the padlock on it, that tells like her future. So like the Book of Tomorrow, so what happens tomorrow to her. It's really good, actually. Like, I got it because a long time ago a YouTuber talked about it. I saw it and so I was like, oh my god, I need to read that. She was a booktuber, I think. She just mentioned the book on her makeup channel, something like that. It's actually surprisingly really good, and it's gorgeous. Like, this is gold and purple. So good.
Next thing is eyeliner.
Is it?
Yes. Eyeliner. Pick a dark and mysterious book.
So she's gonna start her eyeliner while I talk about, because we both take forever on our eyeliner. Any woman that says it takes forever on their eyeliner, I don't understand. Like, it takes me forever, it takes Leslie forever.
True.
So I'm gonna go first while she attempts her eyeliner. I chose, because it's a dark mysterious book, Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I love Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn wrote Gone Girl. But Dark Places is about this character whose family died in like a really gruesome murder. There was like a Satan sacrifice, and like she like, her whole family died, but she survived it. She basically has never tried to uncover the mystery of what happened, which is a little strange. You'd think that like you'd want to know what happened, but she just doesn't. She just lived off the fame of being the innocent girl that survived the killings, and she just never got a job because she made lots of money because people donated money to her. But it wasn't until she just found out, oh shit, I do need a job. And that, like, after all the money is gone, or close to gone, she's like, I need to figure this out. I hate people, I hate working, but I need a job now because I can make money. And the reason why she starts to, like, be curious about what happened in her past and what actually happened to her family is because she seeks a job with this club or whatever that, thought that she'd be so cool to visit. I guess it's hard to explain, but yeah, she ends up seeking what happened, and it goes to different points of view as well, which is really cool. You get point of view of like the past and like other characters, and then you get the future present, whether it was her. Personally, I don't really like her that much, but I love the story, and it's really shocking when like it all comes together. You're like, wow, that's what happened. I think it is very much like dark and mysterious, because I mean, if you think about it, Satan sacrificing like a whole family, that's
Scary.
pretty intense.
Oh, this is
That's
really
my book.
So for eyeliner dark and mysterious, I picked Six of Crows. This book Kristina has really wanted me to read. I have not had the time to read it yet, but it is on my to-do list. So I will read the description inside the book. Cutterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. So, as I understand, it's a book about a group of kids.
It's about a crow club, and they're all like really cunning and very individual-esque. Oh my god. Individual-esque, and they all have different abilities and different strengths and stuff. It's really marvelous, actually. But yeah, they got hired to do some possible heist to uncover Judah Purim. It's so good. So good. I gave it 5 stars. It's got like 4.9 on Goodreads.
On Goodreads, yeah, that's the other reason I want to read it, because it's doing so good on Goodreads.
So good on Goodreads. So fantastic.
But the reason I picked this for Dark and Mysterious is obviously it has a crow on the front. I like the art on the front. Also, the pages are black. Obviously on the inside they're not, but on the sides they're black, and that's very interesting to me. So it quite literally fits the description, dark and mysterious. The next one is Mascara. Pick a long book.
The book I picked is kind of weird because it's like obviously just like the 3 books in one. There's a lot of talk about if it's one book or if it's several books. But I'm going to include this. The longest book that I own is The Lord of the Rings. This is my thick, beautiful copy of The Lord of the Rings. And people argue that there's like more than one book. Some people argue it's a bind-up of only all of them. I'm just going to include it. Obviously, it's Lord of the Rings. If you know what Lord of the Rings is, it is awesome. It's about hobbits that go on a miraculous journey with a ring. And the ring is like evil power and stuff like that, so they have to go and demolish it. And there's wizards and elves, and it's so good. I assume everyone's read Lord of the Rings or watched the movies because it's really popular. It's
or
popular.
At least watch The Hobbit.
It's popular because like you know how Harry Potter is popular. Everyone knows Harry Potter.
So the longest book I own, I think, is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I think it's a little bit thicker than this book, but the book I wanted to pick is Eldest. This is the second book in the Aragon series. This book is very special to me because I actually got it from 5th grade. We did this thing in school where we recommended books to each other, and this was recommended by Kayla, who I went to elementary school with. I basically stole this from my elementary school teacher, which is why this book is so special to me.
Good, very important question. Do you think that teachers watch videos on YouTube?
Oh. Also, important question. Have you ever stolen a book from a teacher? Because I've stolen many books from teachers. Maybe not many.
Other important question. Do
Do
teachers know that we do this?
Do teachers know that we steal that we're both book thieves?
Do they know it? Book thief.
I included this book because here's the thing. This book switches between point of views of Aragon, the main character, and Ronan, his cousins. Ronan is on a ship. I can't remember what he's doing. It's been so long since I read this book, but he's basically on a ship with all these other people, and it's so boring. It's so boring. It's so boring to me. It took me forever to read this book. It took me months to get through this book because every time it skipped to Ronan's part, I wanted to skip it, and I don't skip chapters in books. I never have. So this book feels very, very, very long. I love the Aragon book series, but whenever I'm talking about it with people, I always tell them that Eldest is very hard to get through because Aragon has so much going on, and he has so many things happen to him as a dragon rider, when he gets his magic. All these things happen to him, and they're so exciting, and it's such a huge adventure, and Ronan's just on a ship in a storm.
Every time she says Ronan, I think of Throne of Glass because there's a character, and later on it's named Ronan, so I was like, okay. But I also haven't read Aragon.
I You need to read Aragon. It's very good, but this book is upsetting because I just feel like it's so hard to get through Ronan's parts.
Oh no.
What's blush?
The blush is just a tart.
No, what's the question?
Pick a book that had some cringe-worthy romance. I'll go first. So, here's the thing. I'm gonna pick a book that everyone's heard me talk about and bitch about, but I don't give a shit. So what was really cringe-worthy is Anne and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Yeah, this shit is shit. It's just shit. Like, I've talked about it in the past. People love this book. People on BookTube love this book. It's like highly acclaimed. But I read it, and I could not fucking stand the main character. She's all about this guy that she just met. It's love at first sight. He's got a British accent named Charlie St. Cloud, or Charlie Cloud, or whatever it's goddamn is called. And, like, that's all the book is. It's, like, her trying to win him over. He pushes their emotions. He's got a girlfriend. She just goes for him, and she's annoying as fuck. I'm not gonna go too long because I've talked about it in the past. But this is really cringe-worthy. I can't.
So, cringe-worthy romance, I picked The Fault in Our Stars. The Fault in Our Stars is a good book. I do like the book. But there's certain things in it that are just so cringy to me because it's corny. I don't like corny things. I don't like corny romance. I'm not a hopeless romantic. And the okay thing is, I don't know. I just think it's really corny, some of the stuff that they do.
Which is funny because I love corny.
I don't like corny.
She's the opposite of me in that situation, that I love fucking corny. It's so adorable. And also, I read that with my ex. So it was a big deal, and, like, it's always in my heart. I watched the opening night and cried my eyes out. So no matter how much hate people have Fault in the Stars, I will forever love it. Okay?
Okay. Stop. Okay. Next question. Lipstick, your favorite book kiss. I picked The Book Thief. I will not say specifically what the kiss is because it's
or who it is.
Or who it is because it is, under the circumstance that the kiss happens, is a huge spoiler. But when it happens, it's very emotional. It's really, it makes, this book made me cry, and the kiss that happens in it just absolutely broke my heart. But I think that's why it's my favorite kiss. It's because it did break my heart under the circumstance that it happened, but it's still, like, I'm still glad it happened. That's the only thing I can say without spoiling it.
So, not many people have talked about the Mortal series. The Mortal series, the first one's called Evermore. This is the last book of the series, called Everlasting. Evermore is about, it's not vampires, but immortals. So, I was back in middle school and loved this series so much. About this girl who wakes up one day, like, out of a car crash, and suddenly she's psychic, and her family had died in a car crash, and she doesn't know why she's all of a sudden psychic, but she is. And one day at school, after, like, a long time of knowing she's psychic, this guy pops up, named Damon. Damon, yeah. And he's like mysteriously and weird and like creepy, but like not in a bad way, like in a really like Vampire Diary way. If you watch Vampire Diaries, you know what I mean. But like just a romance novel series. It's good. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't know how good it is, but it's my favorite last book of a series. Oh, sorry, it's not that. It's my favorite kiss, because I mean at the end, there's like basically like they do have a really good kiss. This is like not a huge spoiler actually, because like the whole series follows their romance, but it's specific because at the end there's a reason why it's a big deal, and it was just like warmed my heart because like all of a sudden after so many books, what we wanted happened, and it was good, and I love it, and I love them too.
Okay, pick your favorite book that is the last book in a series. So my favorite last book in a series is The End. Series. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't own The End. It's from a series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I've read all the books multiple times, but I don't own all of them. So the last book that I own is The Eighth, The Hostile Hospital. So I'm going to use this for imagery. But this is not The End. The reason I like The End, there's a few different reasons why I like it. One, because the last book is called The End. I love that. The End is one of my favorite last books in a book series I've ever read, because the whole series he drags on all these mysteries, and it's not annoying. It keeps you going, and the last book rounds out so much. Just so many things make sense, and there's so many justices, but it's rounded out very nicely to where it's not like a happy, sappy ending, to where it's not tragic either, even though there are a lot of tragedies in this book. Obviously, it's called a series of unfortunate events. There are a lot of tragedies, but in the last book, there's a lot of happy things that happen too. A lot of mysteries get solved. The character development by the time you get to the end is... It's a symphony of character development. The other thing that I like about The End is that every single one of his books has 12 chapters, but the End is the 13th book, and it's the only book with 13 chapters, and the last chapter is like very special. So I feel like
these books.
Huh?
I need to read these books.
Everything he writes has a purpose. I think that's why I love it so much, is that everything he writes has a purpose. But The End is my favorite, and I get very excited when I talk about it.
So, for my favorite last book of a series, that's what it was?
Yes.
It's a trilogy. I read a lot of trilogies growing up, not a lot of series, so it's kind of cheating, but it's Blood of My Blood by Barry Lyga. This is without the desk cover, because I think this is much beautiful than the desk cover. I got rid of it. So this is the third book to the I Hunt Killers trilogy, and the I Hunt Killers is about a boy, whose father is a serial killer, and I think that it's like Dexter. He kind of like kills people that are bad. It's like Dexter, but it's not. So I Hunt Killers is like it because there's a lot of killing going on. There's a serial killer involved, but the son's trying to track down his dad. So it's really good. It's actually doesn't get enough praise, honestly, for how stellar these books are. No one talks about them, and they're really good. I love these books. As a favorite book of the novels, because just how it all wraps up and what happens is like so satisfying. I don't like a lot of books that just wrap up like nicely. Like, sometimes it's nice, but for this series, it didn't just wrap up nicely. They put it all together, and it was just so satisfying. So good. I ate it up. I was so happy with how it ended. I mean, I think I remember wanting one thing to happen, but it wasn't a huge deal. I love when books can not wrap things up nicely, but it's exactly what you want. It's like, yes. So good. I think that everyone should read Hunt Killers trilogy. It is amazing. Yeah. The ending was good, so. We have now found out that Leslie's camera stops at 45 minutes.
It stops filming at 45 minutes and 30 seconds, so this is the second clip. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let us know if you've read any of these books, what you think about them, if you steal books from your teachers.
Do teachers watch our videos?
Do teachers watch our videos? Are there any teachers watching?
If you are
upset that I steal?
let us know.
Are you upset that I steal books?